Okay, so the recording is live. So welcome everyone on the platform once again to today's training. And like I said, so it's time for us to learn, to add to our knowledge. And I'm so sure that um, this training is going to be really insightful and nobody will be left out when it comes to grabbing one or um, two additional knowledges. So let me just put it that way. So we have our trainer. Our trainer is on the platform already and is fully ready to take us through today's training. So we'll be looking at how to integrate our Copilot Studio with external APIs for real-world business solutions. And I know that we are all here to learn. So I'll just beg us to stay calm, stay focused, and then bring our minds together just for us to learn on this platform. So having said that, I'll just quickly introduce some of the executives that we have on the call this morning. So we have Sherif Busari. Sherif Busari is our coordinator and is also on the platform this afternoon. Hi Sherif, thanks for being here. We have Oluwafemi Dada. So Oluwafemi Dada is our events director and is also on the platform this afternoon. I have my humble self, Oluwatosin Adepoju. We have some others of our members that are yet to join. We have John Wachuku, we have Oluwatimile Oluborodi, and then we have Oluwatobiloba Fatunsi. Yes, so some of them will be joining us before the end of the session. And any time you have any question, you can reach out to either of us, you can reach out to any of us for um any of the questions. And if you want to be a member of the group also, so you can reach out to any of us. So having said that, I would also like to quickly introduce everyone on the call to Dynamics User Group. I know to some people on the call, this is not your first time hearing about DUG, then while some maybe this may be your first time, but regardless, I'm still going to give a very short introduction of DUG before we dive into the training proper. So just permit me to share my screen. So I'm going to override the blank screen. I'll just quickly share um, the slide I have with me. So just give me a minute to do that. Thank you. Okay. So let me know when you can see my screen. So let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, ma.
Yes.
Your skin is
Yes, I see
loading
your
up.
screen.
All right, thank you. Is it
Yes, the screen is up, doesn't.
all right? Thank you, Femi. Thank you, everyone. So, like I said, I just have a brief introduction to Dynamics User Group. That is DUG. So DUG is just the acronyms for the Dynamic User Group. And Dynamic User Group is not just a local community. So it has an international arm of it. So we have Dynamic User Group across this country and also outside the country. So it's actually a big community. So Dynamic User Group. So what do we do? What is our belief? What's our core aims and all? So what we do basically is to build community. So we build community of people in the dynamics. Can I say it's the dynamics ecosystem? So we also encourage connections. So bringing people together that and this make that have the same like have like minds that are on the journey of this tech in the aspect of the dynamics of applications. So, and also to encourage education. So, one of the things that we do that we have trainings where we educate ourselves. And I'm sure that this that we are doing today is also educating ourselves. So to our story, Dynamic User Group was founded in the year 1995 and started as just an online platform. So where people gather together and then discuss and do all of those things. And in no time, so it expanded into becoming a big community. And one of the things that we do is we have video content, we have training programs, we have interactive virtual and in-person events. So this is a virtual event. Also, we do have in-person events. So there are also regional meetups, yes, there are regional meetups, and also we have sponsorship opportunities and even a lot more. So our community is actually free for anyone to join. So anyone that is either a user of Dynamics, or maybe you are a developer, or maybe you are a reseller of Microsoft Business Application. So you are welcome to join this community. And presently, we have over 47,000 community members, and we are still open to even receive more members. So joining us means you're not alone. You're in the midst of people that are actually, ready to grow, and we are all ready to grow together. So what is our rule of engagement? Our rule of engagement is that we need to be cautious, yes. So this is where we are guided with what we say, and then we are also welcome to contribute during meetings. So be it the physical meeting, the virtual meeting, everybody is welcome to contribute, to bring up their own contribution, and also to participate in any of our events. And that's the reason why our events are open for everyone to attend. Whether you are a community member or you are yet to join the community, you are all welcome to participate in our programs. So a meetup is just like a group of should I say a group of people coming together to have some events. So within the Power Platform community at a regional level. So before the end of this introduction, I'm going to show us some of the regional meetups that we are still going to have this year, what we can call conferences. So for you to join, all you need to do is just to let us know your intention, then you'll be added to the platform. So we have some dynamic user groups program. So this is where we get to see the programs here. We have forums, we have DUD forums, we have webinars. So like what we are doing now. So for DUD Lagos, which is an arm of the big DUG community. So for DUG Lagos, we have our webinar every month. So that means our webinar is monthly. And then we used to have a physical meetup every quarter. So that's for DUG Lagos. So we have meetups, like I said, for us in our own group here. So we meet every quarter. So once every quarter. So that is when we have our meetups. We have conferences also. That's the Dynamics Con. So we have the like what we can call regional conferences also. So like I said, we're going to see the dates as I proceed in this presentation. And who are the people that can join, or who are the people that can join this community, or what are the technologies that we cover, right? So we have the Business Central, we have the customer engagement, we have the finance and supply chain. So we have Dynamics GP, we have Power Platform. Anybody that is interested in AI, you are all welcome to join this big community. So for you to get updates, I don't know if you have your phone with you, you can scan this just for you to fill a form for you to stay updated. So I don't know if you are doing that right now. So I'm just going to give us a minute to do that, then I'll proceed. But if you're unable to get it scanned, so we can still drop this on our WhatsApp platform. Like I said, for DG Lagos, we have a WhatsApp group. So all you need to do is just to show your intention, give us your number, then you'll be added to the group. So for the Dynamics Con 2026, it's happening on the 12th to 15th of May. That is next month at Las Vegas. So it's coming up very shortly. So it's coming up next month. So if you're interested and you want to join, just let us know. And we're going to guide you on how to attend the event. Also for the regional conferences, so we have some that have already taken place this year. So one took place on the 14th of January, that's at Tampa. Then we have another one that took place on the 20th of March 2026. But for the upcoming ones, we have one coming up in June 18 to 19. That one is happening in Toronto. So if you know you want to attend, you can still let us know. So then there is one that is very, very close to us. That's the one happening in Ghana. So that's for with the Africans to attend. That one is still happening in June 25, 2026. So when the program is during, I know there's going to be structure around how to register and then how to mobilize ourselves for that conference. So having said that, we have also some coming up in August. So I don't know, you can actually attend any of this. So if you really want to. But like I said, the closest one is still out of the Ghana. Yes, so we have one in September, then you can see the one in Texas. So it's like it's fun all through the year. So we can join any of the regional conferences. Okay. And that is all about DUG. So that's all about the general DUG. So DUG Lagos is here, is the closest to you. And you can be part of us today by just giving us a best. And also we have a YouTube channel. Okay, so when I started the session, it was our YouTube channel. So this is when our videos are being uploaded. So that means nobody is missing now. So whether you are here now or someone is unable to join, so they can always visit that. And that brings me to the end of this introduction. So shortly we are going to be moving to the training proper. So I'll just stop sharing my screen so that our trainer can share his own screen. Okay. So today, like I said, we have a seasoned trainer on the group, and that's Olashile Ridwan. So he's going to be walking us through or showing or teaching us on the topic on how to integrate our Copilot Studio with external APIs. And we know that AI is actually the big guy now. So how can you integrate that your agent to external system, third-party system? So that's exactly what Ridwan will be showing us today. So having said that, I want everybody to join me as we welcome Ridwan. So he's going to do a brief introduction of himself. So, but I'm very sure, and I know that you won't regret being here today. So let's just give him a clapping, let's use the clap emoji to welcome Ridwan. So while he takes the platform, thank you. So welcome Ridwan.
Hello, Tosi. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Olashile Ridwan, as Tosin has already mentioned already. Thank you for having me, and it's really nice to be amongst intellectuals, basically in the same field. So thank you to the Dynamic Visual Group for also inviting me here to speak today. Please, can you hear me clearly, and can you see my slides, please?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. And
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. So let's, without further ado, let's begin. So as Tosin already mentioned, right, we're moving into an area of Copilot. And then while the older technologies are still there and we have to keep updated with them, we still have to move forward with the train, right? So we don't get left behind. So this is the topic. And yes, my name is Ridwan. So let me proceed from there. Right. So yeah, this is just the agenda that we are going to be having today. Basically, an introduction to myself. I'll do that one next. Why do we need a Copilot? It's just a small overview into Copilot Studio, and a very, very important part of our discussion today, the APIs and its integration architecture. And we'll be having a live demo of how all of these things come together. So let me proceed. So this is me. Sorry. Yes, so this is me. Yeah, I mean, that's my face. So I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, a business applications developer. I work in Asha Limited, and I have approximately 4 years of experience in the power platform space. Sorry, I don't really like using, oh, I've done this, I've done that. So basically, my work is mostly behind the scene. connecting systems, automating processes. And when I do my work right, majority of people benefits from it. The customer benefits from it. The company benefits from it. So that's basically what I do, because I cannot say this is the particular technology that I use only. Sometimes I have to do an integration between multiple technologies. So let's just leave it like that. Business applications developer. But that's not the really important thing. So please, let's just proceed from there. All right. So, Copilot, right? A majority of us here are already aware of what the Copilot is basically. Sorry, Copilot Studio rather, right? The Copilot Studio is basically the platform, or is a proprietary product for the Microsoft, right? For Microsoft, basically. Other OEMs also have whatever they call theirs to AWS, Google, IBM, Watson, and the likes of them like that. So they all have different names. So, but for AI, for as it relates to Microsoft ecosystem, they call it the Copilot. So that's just, I don't want to be giving you definitions because anybody can find definitions online. But basically, it is the platform in which we used to build, we can use to extend, we can use to build custom Copilots, and you can even leverage template ones that are already there. On the right-hand side here, this particular one here, this is the landing page of the Copilot Studio. But if you please kindly focus on this second image you have here, oftentimes I've seen people mistake what's the difference between Copilot, Copilot Studio, and Copilot agents, right? So when we talk about Copilot itself, right? Copilot is just like your is a chat GPT version for Microsoft, right? That's just Copilot is basically, and it is grounded in your data. So for example, now you go into your Word document, you have Copilot there that runs in the context of, oh, you want to do anything within your Word document. You go into your Outlook. So basically, it is product oriented, right, for Microsoft. Now, when we now talk about Copilot Studio, now Copilot Studio, which is basically why we are all here today, which is the fun part that I actually like a lot, right? Copilot Studio is the platform. Just take it as a platform in which Microsoft have allowed people. It's a low-code platform that Microsoft have built to allow people, citizen developers, basically anyone that knows their way around, to be able to build and extend their agents, embed it wherever they want, and all like that. Now, Copilot agents, right? Copilot agents is now that particular AI assistant that you have built using the Copilot Studio, right? So people often tend to synonymize Copilot Studio, and Copilot agents. I just thought I'd take the opportunity to just make the clarification and the distinction between them all. So let's proceed from there. I don't want to, like I said, I don't think there's nobody here that doesn't really know about the Copilot or the Copilot Studio itself. So I'm just going to proceed there. Right. So why exactly do we need sorry, I don't think this slide is loading. Oh yeah, okay, that's come. So why exactly do we need agents, right? For a very long time before even automation came to existence, right? A lot of things were done manually, right? And you still have companies today, right, that still do some things manually. You see some companies saying that they have their own Excel for their budget. They have their own budgeting on Excel. Sorry, I'm not saying Excel is rudimentary or manual. You can automate Excel. But I'm just trying to say that a lot of people still have some of these things done manually, right? People want to buy things, you have to enter it when you can just easily have automated that immediately the person submits their request from whatever client UI they're using. Let's say populate without me having to go and start, oh, person has submitted, let me copy and paste it and move it to another particular table or database or something like that. So the workforce is getting not the workforce specifically, right? Working. And when I say working, I mean the workforce itself. The amount of work to be done in a workspace has gotten so much more. Right now, imagine as a customer care person now, you have the channel of responding to Instagram, you have the channel of responding to Facebook, and people can also call at the same time and all like that. Now, imagine this particular scenario when you could easily have a co-pilot agent that's on standby 247 and can do what? Can multitask and even do multi-channel much more and so much more and efficient than a human being can actually do it, right? So growing number of communications, right? We have so many channels, and then we're not going to say, oh, simply because we have so many channels, please contact us only via mail only. We don't respond here. Then you might tend to lose customers in that particular way. So that's one way to have streamlined workforce. Now, some people might actually disagree with this particular part, and that's the fact, right? We all know what has been going on recently, whereby, oh, they're saying AI will replace your job, and truly, some companies have actually been doing that. But I would always say that, yes, AI will replace some job, but not all your jobs. And that's the whole point why we are all here, so that we don't have AI replace our jobs, so that we still continue to remain relevant um, in the workforce as it is modernizing and moving into the age of AI. So we are already in the age of AI, but the age of AI is not just 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. It's going to be something that's going to be for a very long time, right? So we are already on the bantering here. Higher customer demand, as I already mentioned earlier, your customers don't really care if you have only one channel. Your customers just want you to attend to them. So in order to make work and make life easier for yourself, you need to automate your processes, right? So that's basically just some of the reasons why we could look at saying that we actually need to have agents, right? Or we need to have automation as a whole itself. So let's proceed now. I've spoke about Copilot as an overview itself, because I don't want to dwell too much into it, because I want to have enough time for my demo, which is the sweet part, right? But it will be an injustice if I do not speak about APIs, right? When I was learning and I was coming into the Power Platform, I had a little bit of experience in the just the writing some pro code. So remember I mentioned that the Copilot Studio platform is a low code and no code platform. So you can just drag and drop things. Microsoft have already handled some things they have already handled majority of things for you. You just click and you do whatever you want, right? And one of the beautiful features of what Microsoft have done now for the Copilot Studio is that you can use what is called natural language processing, right? Yes, natural language processing, to be able to tell it what you want to do, and it will generate what you want to do without having to have architectural knowledge or anything at all. But I am still always of the opinion that it is very, very good, right? It is very, very good, because as an architect or a developer, you might not always be in a position that you have to build. You might have to support some solutions that you didn't even build, that you didn't even see at all. And one of the things that can actually help you is having an understanding of how something works in the background. Hello? Sorry, is somebody speaking?
No.
Okay, all right. So moving on to the API integration architecture, right? What is an API, right? Yes, typically online you'd see application programming interface, but on a simple level, it's basically how systems speak to one another, how systems connect with one another. That's basically what an API is, right? I'll be showing some of those APIs and all like that. Now we have different types of APIs that can be built. A number of APIs can be built for depending on your platform. Now, modern technologies nowadays, right now, unless your platform is meant to only be used by you alone and you don't want external systems to be able to integrate with it. If you look at what's it called? If you look at newer technologies, right? Microsoft did not build Power Apps for it to only use internal data only. Okay, just connects to Teams, connects to SharePoint, connects to database. No, because they want it to be inclusive. People add data existing on all sorts of platforms or all sorts of database before even Microsoft introduced the Power Apps or the Power Platform. So they won't say, oh, because of that one, sorry, you cannot use those data with our system, right? They would like you to be able to bring those data in or speak to those data. Now, how do you speak with those data? The how to those data, or one of the hows is basically APIs, is how systems speak to one another. Now, the languages that systems use to speak with one another, when we talk about API itself, it depends on, I go to a restaurant now, right? And I say, I want to buy so and so. Or what do you have basically, right? That particular illustration is actually what you would call a get. Now, if you look at this particular method here, we have various types of method that you can use for an API, right? A get method. A get method is basically, I need this particular thing, right? An example of a get method that you have in the Power Platform, for those that are very familiar with the Power Automate, I can still show it when I finish the slides I have here, is the get item and the get items. I need this particular item. Let's not even worry about the parameters or the query parameters now. The get method helps you to tells your whatever system you are speaking to. If it's an SQL database, I'm saying I need so, 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 and so. And that's basically the fundamentals of how even applications that we build in Power Apps right now. If I write a filter function in Power Apps right now, and I say filter so, so, so data source by this and this and this, I'm basically telling Power Apps that go to my data source and get me so, 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 and so. If it exists, if it doesn't exist, it's come back blank. So that's the get basically. Now, the post basically, you cannot say that the only thing I can get from a system or from a database is just to be able to get something from it. I also have to be able to save things to it, right? Which is where we have the likes of using our submit form and our patch. Even submit form uses patch on the back end itself, right? So that's an example. Now we also have a put. Puts, yeah, you can use a put for basically to update an existing record, right? The record already existed. You want to update either the entire record or some existing records. Puts is also there. So now you might find some documentation online that actually uses so there's a third one, there's a fourth one that's called patch. So they use it interchangeably, put and patch. But in the end, the important thing is knowing which particular API you are working with and what verb has been configured to work with that particular API. Deletes are basically to complete the CRUD operation, which is the create, update, delete, right? Deletes, I want to delete a data from a particular, maybe a particular data source or a particular server. That's basically what that does. Now, all of these things that you perform in Power Apps without even knowing this, I assure you that these are the fundamentals of what runs on the background. Yes, Microsoft said low code, no code technology, but eventually you still have code running in the background to prevent you from having to write the code, right? So that's on the method side. Now, requests. Depending on the particular method you are using. For instance, now I'm using get item. Get item only takes one parameter because I say it's get item. It's singular. So I need one item. It means I need to tell it what particular item do I want. And that's the reason why we often pass, you pass the particular ID of the item you want, right? Get items now does the what? If you want multiple items, and it can also return one single item, right? So now, the particular request, so in that case of the get items now, my request in that particular scenario now is basically, I want one item, or I want items where the particular status is equal to so, 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 and so. So that is your request. Now, that request will be sent to what? The particular server. Now, there will definitely be what? A response. And response is not only limited to get items, right? So we also have status response like 200, 500. 200 is basically that, yes, everything went fine. If you have, I think 500 is for if there's an issue. There's so many, 400, I think 405 and less than something like that. So those are also some other informations that also come back with response. And that's why I said that depending on the particular request you're making, if you are doing a post or a put now, you are not expecting anything back. The only thing or the only response you probably get back is that, okay, yes, what I wanted to do succeeded. And that's pretty much everything you probably be getting from that particular angle, right? Now, structures of arrays and objects, right? I cannot talk about this particular one without showing a little, right? So please permit me to just switch. I already have it opened so that I don't keep us too long here. Now, you cannot say that you want to talk about objects and arrays without having to actually show them so people can understand them, right? Objects and arrays basically are the skeletal structure of what an API is basically. Now, in biologically, we human beings now, right? I have a head, I have two arms, I have 5 fingers. Those are the structures of typical human being. Now, if you now see people that have another thing like that, so maybe they were not so fortunate with some things regarding their biology, right? But that's basically that. Now, let's now look at the architecture of when we talk about the architecture of how an API typically looks like. But in this case now, because I don't want to waste too much time, I'm using, this is Power Automate for those who might not know. This is Power Automate. And list rows is synonymous to what you have on the get items and SharePoint, right? Yeah, it's synonymous to that. Now, let me see if I can get, if I have any data here. Oh, this does not have any data. I'm trying to, okay, let me use this one. Let me just use the structure, right? Now, well, when we talk about objects, right, what are the characteristics of objects? Object is usually characterized by what? Square brackets. Oh, sorry, curly brackets, right? Apologies. Curly bracket. This is a curly bracket, right? They're usually characterized by what? Curly brackets, right? Now, and the second thing that you used to know if you're looking at an object is basically key value pair, right? They are usually in key value. So let me give an example now. And I'm telling you that objects and arrays follow almost any application. So right now in MTN, or no, let me use NIN, right? NIN stores our, so they've stored our NIN, and by your NIN, they can filter your name and every other thing about you, basically. Every particular record that they can see on the NIN database is an object. That object is now what? So say maybe now, this particular connection reference name I have here now is my first name. This that you are looking on the left-hand side that I've highlighted here is what you call the key, which is usually a column name. If you are putting it in the database wise. So this particular connection reference name here is synonymous to, if I come to my SharePoint list here, you see this particular header you have here. This is synonymous to what? The key. So the employee name for this particular record is what? The key employee name. The objects for this particular record now is now what? Abdulwaris Oyeyola. Just to put a little context to that, so that, because by the time, this is very, very important, please, because by the time I'll be speaking on moving to Copilot proper, there are some things that I'll be talking about, and I don't want anyone to be lost. So on that, now you can see that even they themselves here, this O1 here is the key, because if you look at here, this entire thing you have here is actually an object, right? And then you can have nested objects. So inside this entire list row object, they have what? They have the host information, which is the key, and then they also embedded what? Further objects inside this. Basically, this is the key, basically. Now, but you see that because this is a record also too. So if I need something now, for those that know Power Apps and less or something like that, you now be saying host dot, is it connection reference name, or is it operation ID that you want? It will now bring what? The particular value for that particular key. So I just wanted to just show a little for that particular side. Sorry, I thought I had a flow that shows that's for what's the name? Oh, good. Oh, thank you, sweet. I thought I didn't open it. Sorry, I was opening the header. Now we've talked about objects, and I say objects are characterized by two things. The first one, it is usually in curly brackets. The second one, it has what? Keys and their value. And you can see this is typically how data are being exchanged, basically, right? Now, arrays now, we can have different types of arrays. We can have an array of numbers. We can have an array of texts. We can have an array of objects themselves. Now, in this particular case now, this is an array of what? An array of objects. So an array of numbers will typically just be, so sorry, I didn't touch on the characteristics of when we talk about arrays themselves, right? Arrays are basically what? Square brackets. Arrays are square brackets, and they can be multiple. And that's one of the reasons why if you use a get item or you do anything of an array, Power Automate automatically throws you into a what and apply to each, because it is under the assumption that there can be multiple items. Now, if I go use the data source I have here, so I have two pending items here. Now, if I use Power Automate and I say, use get items in Power Automate and get me where the status is equal to pending. Here now, I know that I'll definitely be getting two items. If I say get me where it is equal to what? Approved, I know I have only one item here, but because Power Automate understands that the action you are using can return multiple items, it by defaultly returns what? An array, regardless of whether or not you have only one particular item in there. So I just wanted to touch on that a little. So if we look at this particular schema that we're looking at right now, see here, we have the square bracket. Now, if we go down, if you can see, this is one object. From this opening bracket here to here. Sorry, I scrolled too much. So to this closing one here, this is one object here, right? Oh, sorry, this is one object here. This is one object here. So it means that this is one record. You can see the information that are there now. They are basically information that you know, state code, modified by, and all like that. From this opening one here again to another one again, this is another record, and on like that. So please, I hope, Tosin, please, can you confirm that you can still hear me clearly, and then there's no break in my connection, please?
Clearly, I can hear you clearly.
All right, thank you very much. So Now, let me go back to my slides. I just wanted to touch a little on those because those are very, very important concepts of when we talk about APIs and even what Microsoft has built that we are calling low code, no code. But in the background, these are some of the things that they themselves are using. Now, let's move on to the parts that I actually am very, 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 very keen about, the live demo, right? We are going to be building a financial assistant agent, right? I want to call my own Shinra. I mean, that's what I want to call my own agent, right? We're also going to be looking at building a REST API for an exchange rate API. I already have the API. I created some of the stuff, but I will just show you how to do that one. And I'll also be sharing some resources that you can also use yourself, right? Leverage how we use other AI to even make our own, to be the better Copilot agent. We'll also display some other things and all like that. So without talking too much, so let's proceed. So this is the Copilot Studio, right? And all of us, we have, please, if you were busy before while I was talking, please kindly focus so that we all gain massively from this. This is our Copilot Studio, and then, we all know what this does basically. Now, you can either choose to, just tell your agents what type of agents do you want to do, do you want to build. I can just say a financial assistant agent, right? But ever since the introduction of Copilot, there has been something called prompting. How you prompt your agent or how you prompt the particular AI platform you are interacting with greatly affects the outcome of the results that you get. So that's on that one. Now, I can also choose to just say, okay, manually, I want to go and create it manually myself, right? But I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to do that at all. So I want to use an agent, and I want to use this particular feature of describing what you want to show some other capabilities that we can also leverage while we're working. Now, I already mentioned earlier that I want to build a financial assistant agent called Shinra. So that's that. Now, let's come and let's move on to ChatGPT. I have ChatGPT open here already. Now, while I was testing earlier, I already used some prompts already. So let me just use that so I don't type it again. Now, if you look at this particular prompt that I have here, I said, write a detailed and clear prompt as a Copilot developer for an agent, which helps users answer financial questions on exchange rate, stock, and the likes, right? No matter how, I personally feel as if there is no better person to tell to write a prompt for you than an LLM system, than an LLM system, basically. And look at what it has done for me. It even wrote it far much more than what I wanted it to write. We can read a lot of these ones. We can read the entire thing. And it even generated what? Core responsibilities, stock market insights, crypto information, and the likes of that. Now, the most important thing that I want you guys to notice is actually this bottom part here. Because while we are all excited about using AI and all like that, and that's the reason why even companies would introduce what is called an ethical committee. The United States even have ethical committees on that helps to guard real AI. AI is good and all like that, but if not properly used in the right way, can also put us at a disadvantage. Now you can see that me, when I was writing it, I didn't even tell it that, okay, also factor the security and don't respond to. Now imagine somebody asking an AI and saying, I want to kill myself. Tell me what's poison I can use. An AI should not answer that kind of question. But if those kind of things were not factored in the earlier stage of building that particular AI, the thing will answer it and say, go eat rat poison or something. Now imagine somebody come and sue that particular company and said that your AI was the one that told me what to go and do to go and buy myself. So you can see here, it even generated what? Behavioral guidelines here. So that's the reason why I always feel very, very comfortable just using this. I see when it's even telling here, you would even see people online saying things like, this is not a financial advice. It has even added that particular one for me. So you can see it added so many other things that I might not have thought of myself. So I personally feel as if there's no better way to generate a prompt than by using an AI to generate that particular prompt for you. So that's simply what I've done here. So let me simply copy this. Now let's go to our Copilot agent. Now I'll just say Ctrl V. I'll just paste everything there. So this is basically it. Let me remove this particular side here. It doesn't matter. I just strip off some of the things here and let's see, proceed. So we give it a few minutes. Now, while we are waiting for this, I have a library of APIs that I normally use. Some were said to be free before, but they're no longer free. One of them is this site, API Votes. So, they have lots of APIs. You can see them here. Now, there's also another one by GitHub. You have it's a massive API library that in fact, when I look at it, it always makes me happy because I can test, I can play around with quite a number of you see, we have APIs about if you want to call APIs about animals and use them for whatever. We have APIs regarding, so basically alphabetically, right? You see, we have a whole lot of this library. I've kept it, in fact, for a very, very long time, and I always use it. Back when I was learning custom connectors, this was one of the ones that I also used to help me to be able to learn custom connectors and all like that. So you can find some online, but me, I think this is fine for me. So I used, because I said that the API that we're integrating with externally is what? Is the exchange rate API. So I don't want to search again. I'll just come here. I already have it open to save time. See exchange rates under C here. So this is a particular one that I've integrated with already. But if you come here, now don't always be so calm there. So you see here now, if you look at this particular one, it says free foreign exchange and crypto rates. It says authentication, no authentication. Some of this information might not be right, but the best thing is just pick it first, look at it and see what you get, right? Now this is the particular, sorry, let me reload it again. So this is the particular site. So earlier I already registered for the site so I can get what is called an API key. Now, let me wait for my Copilot. Is it done? All right, it's still ongoing. So let me go back to what I was saying. Now, for you to be able to use a particular API, if I have a platform now and I want people to be able to integrate with it, of course, I will not just make it an open API unless I know that I want it to be publicly available. I want everybody to be able to use it, then that's fine. But Microsoft will not just leave their API and their endpoints, just leave it open and just allow anybody. No, there has to be some due processes, authentication. And the reason why that is because even without even those APIs, hackers are still hacking them, right? So security or API security is also one of the important things. And that's the reason why oftentimes, platforms will always tell you to register. You can see I registered for this particular site. So if I come from here again, if you click on it, it will take you as a fresh person. It will tell you, do you want an API key? You register for it, use whatever account, Gmail or Outlook or whatever account you want. You use it and then it will allow you to be able to then generate your API key. This is my own API key here, right? It's only me that know it, aside from the people that have seen it soon now. So please, nobody should go and use my own API key. Just kindly generate your own, right? So let me go back to confirm if this is done. Okay, good, this is done. Now, these are simply generated words on a high level, a financial intelligent assistant for us, right? That's generated it for us. Now, if you look at some of the things that it added for us, right? You see that from the prompts that I gave it, it's generated some things itself, right? I didn't have to do all of these ones. You can read through if it's fine, if it's not. This is just instructions. Earlier, when it was still called virtual agents, we didn't have these particular capabilities there before, where you could use what is called natural language. So natural language uses the natural language model, whereby if I say a particular thing in whatever language, the AI is smart enough to understand it and translate it into action and do whatever I want. So that's on high level what natural language basically is, right? Now you can see here, it's telling me that I can even use knowledge based on what I've told it. Bloomberg, investing, Reuters, CoinMarketCap. It has not added all of it. I have to add it, but I don't want to use knowledge. I want to show something. I don't want to use it, right? Here, it has even picked that I should use web search. Now, I'm going to show the difference between how using a web search affects our AI and how it doesn't affect our AI. Let me disable this for now. There are so many other things, but there's so many other things too also. Now, which is the major part that we actually want to see now? How do we now bring this particular API that we have here? How do we bring it into our Copilot? Such that if I ask my Copilot that, what is the exchange rate of Nigeria compared to the top 5 currencies? It would bring it for me. How do you do that? And that's the very, very important part. As a developer, as a solutions architect, you might not always be in a situation whereby whereby all you are working with is just Microsoft Teams, Outlook, and all like that. if you are building enterprise solutions, right, you might be in a situation whereby you need to understand how do I bring external APIs into the Power Platform. So that's the reason why it's very, very important to understand the likes of HTTP requests, custom connectors. I'm sorry, I don't have that much time to be able to say that. I want to talk about those ones. So let me just proceed here. So now we will come here to add the tool. We will come here to add the tool. Add the tool. Now, add a tool here. You have quite a number of tools. Your connector that you already have, or your Teams connector, you can find all of them here. But the one I want to work with exactly is the REST API, right? It says create the REST API. Sorry, please, if you're not speaking to me, could you kindly mute, I beg? If you're not speaking to me, please kindly mute. Thank you. So, yeah, I said here that now there's something called what? A Swagger file. Swagger file is basically, it has the information of the entire API that you actually want to work with here. Now, that's how Microsoft will build this particular one. But if you are building a custom connector, right? If you're building a custom connector, you have the option of using I said Swagger file, yes, an open API file, or you can just build this from scratch yourself. But to use this particular feature of REST API, you need to generate your what? You need to generate your open API file, right? Now, let's go back to documentation. It's very, very important that you are also able to read documentation, because it's not just important that, yes, I want to use an API. How does the API work? What are the endpoints? So I'll be speaking about endpoints and the likes of them in this particular part now. Now, let's proceed now. So this is just showing me the guide and all like that. So he's telling me the first thing, get your API access key. Remember, I already got my API access key. I already have it here already. So let's proceed. Now, the particular endpoint you want to work with. Now, what are endpoints exactly? Endpoints are URL. Now, let me give an example of a library. When you get to a library, do you just have one single section in the library? No. When you enter a library, not even counting the conveniences or maybe the reception, let's look at the books themselves. They will not just put every single book in one single part, right? Okay, if you go to this section, you'll be able to, you see maybe anthropology. If you go to this section, you see archaeology. You go to this section, you see maths. That's similar to what an endpoint is. On an API, right, you have what you call endpoints. Endpoints for different actions. An example of an endpoint that Microsoft themselves are using to do low-code and no-code technology for us that we are currently also using right now. An example of it is, let me say, create item. Create item is the endpoint that Microsoft is using to create item. So let me ask the question now. I would come back to it at the end of the class. Why is it that Microsoft themselves did not say just one single API and you can do whatever you want? You can list rows, you can get items, you can get everything. Please just think about that. Why is it not that, okay, if I want to create item now, I will say actions, and I will come here, I'll say create item, right? Why is it that I cannot just use one single action? One action, why can't you just do get item for me, get items for me, create item, delete item? Why? So please just think about that. I will come back to that particular one and just talk about it. So I'll talk about that part. So now let's go. So the same thing is general for all APIs. Now, this is the general URL for this particular exchange rate API. But this itself does not tell me what particular actions would it perform if I use this, if I use that, if I use this, if I use that. It doesn't tell me. Now, this is where this particular part, now, if you look at this particular API here now, from this API part here, it shows the base URL that we saw at the top here, right? But you see that has the / of live. And if you read what this particular one tells us, it's basically that if you want live data, sorry, please, could somebody, I think somebody's unmuted. Please kindly mute yourself if you're not speaking, please. Thank you. This particular endpoint here, now this is an endpoint now, has what? Live. This tells us that if you want live data, this is what you will need, and this is where you will come. Let's scroll down further. Oh, sorry, it's not here. I think it's get started that I have it done. So it's just one. So there's a side of there's a side here that listed everything for if you want to use it. Now there's also another endpoint if you want what? Historical data. So I already spoke about API responses and requests already. So I think people are clear on that one already. Now this particular endpoint, you can see this one is lists. If I want to list what all the exchange rates that's on the platform, this is the particular endpoint that will come. and I have to add the access key. If I want to, good, this is it. If I want, you see, live data. If I want live data, this is the endpoint that I will have to call for you to get live data. If I want historical data, this is where I'll come to the historical data. If I want to convert from one currency to another, this is where I'll do it. This is similar to what Microsoft have done. See this particular first one as create item. See this second one as get item. See this third one as get items. That's why Microsoft splitted all of the actions. Those actions that we are all using are what on the background? They are what? They are API endpoints. That is the background of what we are all using. That we call low code and no code. That's the background basically. So let's proceed now. Now, I want what? The live one for now. Let me do the live one for now. If I go back here, now to generate my open API, my open the OpenAI file that I need to upload here exactly, I will just come here. Sorry. Where is it? So this is let me copy here. Let me copy this. Let me go to my chat GPT. Now, I will tell it, generate a JSON file. Now, sorry, another thing just to speak. So this, you can see Microsoft already told you that upload REST API specification file for Copilot, right? You can also, if you read this, learn more, it will show you more of what I'm just about to do right now. So just to clarify on that part. Now, generate a JSON file for, I'll just paste it here. Generate a JSON file based on this particular endpoint. Now, let me see. Add this. Now, this is one of the ways in which you can actually do this. But I already generated one already. I generated one already. Where is that pilot that I was using earlier? I'm trying to find it. So I generated one already. So I just wanted to show you guys how to just do so. Generate an open API file already. Let me just show this one. So I wanted you guys to see, so I don't just go ahead and use the one that I already have. Okay, so so I generated one already that's already in my file, but I want you people to see how it actually works. So we are using AI to make our own AI agents to be better. Basically, that's what we are doing right now. Now I generated already, so let me not waste too much time. If it doesn't load faster, I think my network is a bit slow. It doesn't load faster. I would okay, yeah, good. It has opened. So now I said generate an open API file, and I pasted what the same endpoints that I pasted earlier. I pasted it here. It generated it for me, and I tell it to convert it to a JSON because it has to be in the JSON format, and it is on my laptop already, right? So let me go back to where I was working, go back to the Open API, sorry, to the Copilot, click here. You see, this is it already. You see, it's .json. Select it. I'll do an open. I've added the API specification. Next. Now, this particular word, it says exchange rate host API, but let me say get API. Get live data. Get live data API. Sorry, please just give me 1 minute, please. Just give me 1 minute. Somebody is banging the door. Please let me just dispense. Perhaps. Sorry, please give me one.
Okay, sorry for the break. Adrian will shortly be back. But while you're waiting for Adrian to join, I just hope everybody is paying attention to what is being done, such
Hello?
that after the session, okay, it's back. We can at least
Yes.
hear out on what he has done. All right, so over to you, Adrian.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry, please. I needed to quickly dispatch the person else. So I want to name my own the name of my this particular one. I want to give it what the tool name so that I can recognize it easily. That's based on the Open API file I uploaded. It has added some things itself already. You select a particular solution that you want it to be inside. So let me just say my Contoso help, or yeah, let me just use Contoso help. Right. I think that's what I want to do here. Next. So please remember I said that it is very, very important that you are able to read. So it's not just about, yeah, I want to build API. What API do you want to use? How have they configured that API to work? Right. So you need to be able to, read documentation. That's also very, very important. Remember I mentioned authentication, API security. This is where authentication comes in, right? Our own API has already told me earlier that I'm using API key, so I don't have to, worry too much about that again. Just go here, come here, see API key. Now it's asking that what parameter label that in that particular API that you want to build, what has the developer called that particular name that they are passing the access key to? You see, this is what they've called it here. I'll just copy it here and I'll come back here. I paste it here. The same thing, paste it here. It's in my header. I don't have to do anything on that one. Next. So APIs mostly, I'm not sure if I've seen any other API that use any other, but they mostly only use what? Either API key or they use OAuth. So that's basically that. Now, you see that it has generated. Now, one of the things that I realized while I was learning and working with this is that Microsoft themselves still go back to the foundation that they mentioned earlier. If we're going back to all these our PL 900 and less of them while we were learning, they will tell you that if you want to bring in an external API, you need to build what? A custom connector, or you are using an HTTP request. Now, you won't believe that what you are doing right now, Microsoft themselves will build you a custom connector that you don't have to build by yourself. Remember I mentioned earlier that one of the ways that you can build custom connector is either you are doing from scratch or you are using what's an open API file. And since I have already uploaded an open API file that typically you use to build a custom connector, Microsoft themselves, this you are seeing right here is a custom connector, and I'm going to prove that at the end of the class. So please still stay. So I pick get live. So I pick here. This is a particular tool that I've created, and I say, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Next. Yeah, so this is basically it's telling me to review your tools. So it's telling me that the inputs that will be taking is that we'll be taking what? Access key, which I'll be providing, and the symbol. Symbol is basically which particular currency do you want to make comparison in the beginning, or which particular currency do you need help with. So, and then it will now say I'll return success, which is the status code, time, and everything, and to return the rates and the source. That's basically what all of this one is. You don't have to do any other thing. Save and close. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just built ourselves what? A REST API. A REST API in the Copilot Studio. But our work is not done there, right? Because we have just built it now. Now we need to let our agent know that we want to use it. We want to use it. I click on cancel here. I go to tools. I'm already on tools, but let me just click on cancel. Let me just click on tools so that to load. Add it to. Now, if I go to connector here, I can just search for it. I think the name I gave it is Exchange. I don't want to scroll through the entire page. Let me just type Exchange. Exchange. Do I have it here? Oh, sorry, I don't want to, but I have to manually do that. Okay, let me scroll down. See all. Let me scroll to E. Sorry, let me do this quickly. Where's the E side? So you will see the icon for okay, good. This is it. Can you see it here? So this is the AP. This is the custom connector that Microsoft created on our behalf, where we said that we wanted to use what they call it, the API. But if you don't find it, you can just reload first of all, and sometimes it might take a bit of time for it to add there. Maybe that's why I wasn't able to search for it. But let me just search for it. Let me just reload rather, and let's see if it's going to show there. So as I was saying, I mentioned earlier that Microsoft themselves are using what? Custom connector to what? To connect that your data. But instead of you building it yourself, they are already doing it for you on the background, so you don't have to worry about doing that yourself. So let me show that. So let me show that Okay, so let me show that. Apologies, I'm trying to keep to time as much as I can. I'm sorry, this the topic is a bit it's one that's very that there are other parts that I feel as if I have to touch on. If I don't touch on them, I feel as if some people might not get some of the things that I'll be doing eventually. And I think my network is not really making it easy. Add the two. Please, can you still hear me? Sorry, I don't know, my network is hello,
Yes, sir.
can anybody still hear me?
If you can hear you clearly.
Hello,
We
yeah,
can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Can you hear us?
Hello,
Hi, Ridwan. Can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear us?
hello, please, can you still hear me? I beg. I'm sorry, I don't know, my
Yes,
network
we
is
can hear you.
hello.
Hi,
Just
Ridwan.
go
We
on,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Hi,
Go
we
on.
can still hear you.
I still hear you.
Just yeah. So you left the call. Let him rejoin. So he's having. I guess he's having issues with his network. Okay, let's just hope he's able to join the call back. Apologies for the break.
Hello, please, can anybody hear me?
Welcome back. We can hear you.
Apologies, please. I don't know. MTN just did me
No, it's
one
fine.
kind now. Apologies, please. Let me just
No,
wrap
we
up a bit.
understand.
Where was I? So yes, I think this one even threw an error also too. Okay, let me do this again. So apologies. So add the two. So CO and scroll down to the E side. Okay, so it is showing now. Can you see this is our connector? And you see this logo is mostly pertaining, is mostly around when you see custom connectors. So you select a particular tool that you want to bring in. It's telling you that this is the action you have inside it. Yes. Select the action. So now you need to, similar to our Power Automate, you need to create a connection the way we normally do Power Automate. So you create a connection. When you create a connection, now I need to paste my access key. I come here, I'll just come and copy it, copy my access key. Come here, Control V, paste it there, create. No. So add and configure. Okay, it has added it to our agent. Now, if I go back to overview, please, can you still hear me?
Yes,
We can
sir.
hear you.
Hello, can anyone still hear me?
We can hear you, Ridwan.
Very well, very well, very well.
Hello?
We can hear you,
Yes,
Ridwan.
I can hear you, Redwan.
I'm sorry, my network keeps on phasing out, so it just keeps telling me that. Yes, I'm sorry, please let me. All right, so now, you see that I've added it to our tools here, right? Now, let's just test now. Let's test what we have right now. I want what is the current, let's test. Let's test what we have right now. Okay, what? Oh, no, let me just say USD exchange rate. You should probably ask me to do an authentication around here somehow, but let's see if it will do that first of all. Now, we can track and see what it will use in this case now. See, it's using what? A knowledge source. this time around, but that's not what I wanted to use, right? I don't want it to use a knowledge source, right? So, and that's why I said that how you prompt your AI is always very, very important on how they actually respond to some of the things that they actually get back to you. So now it's telling me here that it's using what? A knowledge source here, but I don't want it to use the knowledge source. I want it to use what? The API that I've added to it. That's what I want it to use. So let me create a new test session again. USD exchange rate. Sorry. Exchange rates currently. No, shouldn't still be using another. Oh, good. So it's using our API. Oh, good. So this is what I was expecting, this particular error here. I was expecting this error here because it will ask for the access string again, just access key string one more time again. So let me let it fail. It don't allow me to do it. So you see, it's now using the API so I said, or the first one I said what I said exchange, I said USD exchange rate. That's very generic, right? But now I said what is USD's exchange rate currently, right? Now it understands that okay, I want the current exchange rate right now. So definitely it knows that it will have to go to this particular API that I've already created, go and check there and get what's the current exchange rate for USD right now. Okay, so if I come down here, I'll change this to what? Customize value, and I'll paste my what? My API key here too. So I've done this now. Now let's try again. Let me just copy this so I don't have to repeat. I think I probably am nearing the end of this thing, but let me just, so let's start another. Let me save, sorry. Save. Now, let me start another session again now. All right, so let's try again now. Can you see now? So it is very, very important that how you use your connection manager. Let me do this, sorry. It's very, very important that how you use your go to the connection manager. It's just all it's just authentication because you have to make sure that you authenticate against what you are what you're about to use. So sorry, my network is a bit slow. Now, basically, Sharp, this right here that we have right now is just one action, that we've connected to. Now, imagine all those robust platform where you can do multiple things. You can ask for historic data, right? Now, in this particular case, if I still have the time, I would show, but if not, then maybe some other time, Sharp. Or I can just drop the resources and you can also, just practice on your end and see what you get on your end too. Uh, sorry. I've seen your message. Apologies, please. Just I have to finish this, or else I don't think I'll be happy if I don't finish this, please. Apologies, please. I'm sorry, my network is even it's not making it any easier. Okay, so you can see here, it has created the connection here. I'll just say connect. And this is all because it just wants to make sure that I have access to what I say that I want to connect to. And I'm not just trying to bamboozle my way into it, basically. So pick a connection. So normally if it was not authenticated, you will not see typical to the way we have it before, but it has authenticated against this thing for me. So I think I'm good now. So let me go back now, start a new session. Drop this here. Let me just drop the question again, and let's test it again now. So you can see here, it has told us that I used only the get this, and you can see it because I didn't specify that against what currency, right? I just said what is US exchange rate, so it just returned what. You can see here it says 1 USD equals, right? So a USD against euro, it's just listed all of them. Now let's get practical, just one more, just one. Compare. Now the API says what, that I need to pass in what, NGN, which is the currency code. But because we are using AI, we're using Copilot, we're using AI now. Now, our AI is smart enough to understand, even if I say NGN. Now, you see, originally here, I said USD, but let me say compare Naira to the top 5 world currencies. I think my network is even is also contributing to this, but just bear with me, please. I think this is the last part that I'll be talking about. Any other part, if I can answer during the question, I would. So you can see here, it came back and it showed me the top currencies that we have in the world. See, 1, 2, 3. You see, there are 5 of them. USD, China, so that's I think yuan, euro. This, and it made a comparison against. So 1 naira. Sorry, the 1 unit of that particular currency to naira. You see, it's telling us that for 1 USD to 1 USD to naira. You see. 1,357 and all like that. So that's basically, and it just gives some other information like that. Now, if I want to tell it now, I just want to show one last thing now. How has been, how has Tesla stock been doing for the past 3 months? It will not answer this particular. It will answer it based on that. It just use general knowledge. You see, it's using general knowledge. You see, searching sources, right? It's using to answer it because the endpoints that I have in the agent, the endpoints only use what, live data. But my question, I'm asking for what, an historical data. I just wanted to just chip that in and just so that I can just use that one to wrap up. I think that's everything. Now you see here, it should generate something, but see, unfortunately, I was unable to retrieve real time or recent stock for Tesla through my available data source at this time. Remember earlier that I already turned off what? Normally, if I turn on this particular feature here, if I tell it to do web search here, it would have used web search instead of telling me this. But I wanted to show this particular difference. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything that I will be able to touch on for today. Tosin, thank you very much. Over to you, please. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Ridwan. What are we going to do? Let's give Ridwan a round of applause. Let's just react to the clapping emoji. Let's just react. We are really, really grateful. I'm sure we've learned something new. Wow, thank you. So let's keep the reactions coming. Let's keep the reactions coming. Yeah, Ridwan, you've done a very good job, a very, very good job. And we really appreciate the efforts you've put into this. Let's keep the reaction coming. Some people are not reacting. Let's just keep the reaction coming. Yeah, I would say a very big thank you. I would say a very big well done to our trainer for the day. Thank you so much, Riran. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for the reactions. Thank you. All right, so we've come to the end of the training session. So I don't know if you pick one or two things, or maybe you have any questions or contribution or anything that you just want to say. So I think it's time for us to throw this open to the whole house. So if you know you have any question, just raise your hand while I call you. Any question from anybody? I know you don't ask the question initially, so I don't know if you still want us to answer the question.
I think someone has the answer, so maybe we can come back to that one
Okay.
after
So
we
let's see, we have
time.
time. So I saw Victor's hand. Yes, I saw. So Victor, please, let's hear your question.
Thank you, Tosin, and really one great
You're
session
welcome.
and explanation. So, quick one. I just wanted to clarify for this demo you made now. This was basically a get request, right? Getting response from the API for live data. Now, in a situation
Yes.
where we want multiple requests in within the same context of the agent, so I have an API where I need to do some implement some patch or put requests, some delete requests, and also get requests. Can I do that within the same context of the agents?
Yes. So, and the reason why you can do that is because remember I mentioned that for this particular REST API that we did right now, it's
Yeah.
just a get, right? So
Yes.
what it now means that in your own situation now, it means
Yeah.
that you need to go here, then you would need to bring in the other endpoints
For
that
that
is
particular
stated
request.
here that
Okay. Okay.
does those other things that you want to do. Do you understand? So
Okay.
exactly. So remember what I said that goes back to what the question I asked earlier that why is it that Microsoft cannot allow you, Microsoft themselves cannot tell you that okay, fine, just this single action you can create, you can delete, you can update, you can get item. Victor,
Hmm.
why can't you do it a single action? Because they are
Because you need
different
different
endpoints.
parameters and stuff for
Exactly,
it to.
exactly, exactly. Because they are all different endpoints, right? So the endpoint dictates what it does. This one creates, this one updates, this one deletes. One single action does not do the entire thing. I don't know if any other person can. Maybe they've seen an API that does that too. But for what me I know, this is why I know. Do you understand? So now in your own scenario now, so now you see that was the reason why when I was asking it that can you provide for me historical data about Tesla, he
But
wasn't able to do that. If I wanted to implement that now, I'll just come here, go to the part that I will just need to bring in this particular historical data endpoint. And you can see it's even telling me that the dates that I want. So using natural language already, I've already told my my Copilot agent that I want for Tesla for the past 3 months. It can translate it to the past 3 months is how many days and all like that. It will translate it to that, and it will just look at it and return that. So this would have been what if I had added this particular endpoints to our solution, it would have been able to bring out that particular query. But because I did not do that, that's why he told me that, sorry, I don't have for historical data. I only have for live data. Does that answer your question, Victor?
makes sense. Yes, thank you very much.
All right, cool.
All right, thank you so much, Victor, for the question. And thanks to Ridwan for the response. So I have Emmanuel here with his hand raised. So Emmanuel, please let's hear your question.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Mr.
Good afternoon.
Ridwan, thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. So, what I want to actually ask is about this actually look wonderful. How can I integrate this into WhatsApp business and how do I see most of the time based on because I'm still new in this, I always wonder how do we deploy this into the like deploy it out into the real world where people actually make use of these applications.
Yes. So thank you for the question, Mr. Thank you for this question, Mr. Manuel. The first, if we go back to the rudiments of while we were or while we are learning Power Apps, Power Automate, and the likes of them like that, they are what you called connectors, right? If you read more about connectors, connectors are what APIs and endpoints underground, and I've shown some of those. I've approved some of those, right? They are APIs and endpoints underground. The WhatsApp that you want to connect to, they will not build the platform without allowing what API integration. Now, let me search here if I can find a WhatsApp connector first of all. Now, Microsoft have done very well, such that sometimes you don't even have to look for some of these connectors outside. They have already built it there. You just use what they have. If it works for you, if it does not work for you, then let me see if we can get maybe a WhatsApp one or oh, I don't have. So there's no WhatsApp one here, but let me see. Maybe I'm searching off the parameter. Let me WhatsApp. Let's try WhatsApp for all again. Oh, see, it says WhatsApp here, but I don't really trust this one because it looks like, okay, this is an independent publisher. Somebody built it and then used it. But to answer your question, Mr. Victor, if I want, sorry, Mr. Emmanuel, if I want to build this myself, I'll first go to what? WhatsApp.com. There is no site that will not have their developer documentation. Basically, how do you connect to my platform? I didn't build my platform just so that I can be using it by myself or using it alone. I built it so that people can connect to it. Do you understand? So the first thing I will do is that I will come to WhatsApp. Gosh, don't open my WhatsApp now. I will go to the site for WhatsApp, look at their developer information, and look at the endpoints that they have exposed similar to this. Do you understand? They will definitely have something like this because WhatsApp will not just build their platform to be okay. They're using it internally alone. No, they are also using APIs to also do some of the things that you want. So the first thing you do is that platform you want to connect to. But first of all, first check: do you have the connector in Power Platform already? If you have it, check the actions. Do you have what you want to do here? Send an image, confirm a particular phone number. I think those would be the typical actions. Do you have it? If you have it, use what you have there. But if you don't have it, then you would what? Go to their site, which is, I don't know, WhatsApp site. Go to the WhatsApp site. Okay, I'm coming. Let me see if I see WhatsApp developer. What's this? WhatsApp developer, I'm sure they probably have one. Do you understand? So if you go there, you will see something similar to this. They will now show you what are the things. Some platform will tell you that you have to pay. Do you understand? Some will tell you that you need to pay to use our API. Then whatever they are charging you, you would maybe you pay it, then they will not give you whatever authentication, maybe it's OAuth or API key that they're using, they will shall provide it for you. But from their platform is where you will get the documentation to connect to their service. So no matter the service, in fact, there's no service that I can say that I'm not sure, unless legacy system, but newer services, because you didn't build it to just keep it to yourself. You built it so that people can use it because usage means money for you, and those companies want to make more money. Mr. Manuel, I don't know if that answers your question, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. I think another person has the hand raised. Tosin,
Yes,
should the
so
person
I
go
saw
ahead?
Ubon's
Yes.
hand. So Ubon, can you
Okay.
go ahead?
All right. Good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone on the call.
Good afternoon.
Beautiful presentation. So my question is around security, because for this presentation, we're dealing with financial data via API endpoint. Although I saw more like a disclaimer that this is more like for educational purpose below your prompting line, but I'll still need to ask because I'm thinking from the business side of things, business and governance side of things. So one, are there cost implications per API call, maybe when somebody is trying to trigger the prompt for the Copilot agent to run? That's if you're using API. Now, second question also is with regards to security. Um, is there any, how do I even put this question? Do we have more like RBAC structured or enforced at the API level? So those are the two questions that I have. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So, to answer the first question, so as I always say, it is very, very important. As I said earlier, right, it is very, very important that you read the documentation, right? You read documentation. Now, if you look at this is my plan that I'm using for this particular API that I'm using, right? Now you see that it says the plan you're using is free. I have what API 100 API calls request per month, and I'm not paying anything for this. But look at the things that I can do. I can get daily updates, which means that my update will not be up to date, if you put it like that, because it means that by in the evening, if I'm calling it again, it's just one particular daily update. So when we talk about stocks, right, or maybe stocks or maybe financial instruments, we have all these particular instruments, they move on they move constantly, right? They move constantly. So they track their movement. Now, this particular plan here is telling me that I can only get 1 day update. I cannot get hourly updates. I cannot get 10 minutes updates. I cannot get 60 seconds updates, and I can get historical rate updates. But you see, these are the other things that I will not have access to because it is a free plan. If I want to get more, I need to do an update and I will use their paid one, which is typically a business sense from someone that has an API and wants to make money with it. So that's to answer the first part of it. The first part is that some our platform outrightly will tell you pay from the beginning before you use it. Some will tell you, okay, you can use it for so number of days, and after that one, or so number of requests, after that one, you need to pay more. But I didn't have to use any MasterCard or any card at all at all. I just used it directly without asking me for any card at all. You might hit some other API endpoint, or you might want to use some other API endpoint. Reading their documentation, you will see there that they've already told you that, oh, this will be, but it's always very, very important that you read API documentation. That's the first part. Right now, for the second part, the security that they have put in place for this particular thing. You see that when I was trying to call the Power Automate flow, sorry, when I was trying to call, have the agent answer my question, because this particular connector is not authenticated against for me to be able to call their server. It was telling me that I have to put what? The API key. The only way you can get an API key, unless you people that are watching this recording now, you people go back to the recording and go and be looking at my don't go back and go and be looking at my API key. Generate your own. If you go and start looking at my API key now, you now use this now because you have access to it. But typically, if I was building in my own building myself without nobody knowing, nobody can access this account except from me, number one. Number two, you don't know my API key. Do you understand? So that's one level of security now. Now, as to the other level of security by maybe that's RBAC, that's role-based asset security. From the top of my head, if I would speak to that one, because you can also share a particular what do you call it, a particular agent with a subset of people, and you don't have to share with an entirety of people if you don't want them to be able to use it. So I can't really say much about the RBAC side because I haven't explored that in depth, and I don't want to give a vague answer. But from what I know you can share with a subset of people right now. But that's when it is internal. Then your next question will now be, what if it's external, right? So I haven't looked so much into that part, but I'm sure it's something that I will try to look at and see how we can have RBAC implemented. So RBAC is role-based access control. So that's is that fine, Ubong?
Yeah, it's fine. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, thank you.
Listen,
Thanks, Ubon. Thanks, Ridwan, for the question. So while Ridwan was answering Ubon's question, I saw Emmanuel's hand. So I don't know if we still have question. And also there is a question here in the chat window here. And I think Ridwan has already answered that question, but I'm still going to read it out. The question is from Zainab. So the question is, I noticed we cannot see your API key. Can anyone have access to your API key, or API key is just tied to one person? Right, and I think you've answered that question already.
yes, I have. Zainab, are you clear on my answer, or do you want to answer it again?
Yes, I've dropped the chat before
Oh,
somebody
You
you
answered
talked
the
about
question,
it. Yes.
all right,
Thank
that's
you.
fine. All right, thank you. Yeah.
all right. So Emmanuel, I don't know if you still have question or any other person on the call.
No, I was trying to bring down the hand actually.
Oh, okay. So that's fine. Yeah, thank you all for the questions. And if there are no other questions, so I think we can release Mr. Ridwan at this point. So I don't know if anybody actually took notes while Ridwan was taking that training, but I'll just quickly do a recap of everything that we've done today. So like I said before, we have the recording, so you can always go to our YouTube channel to see what has been said and see what has been done. So we started from understanding the differences between Copilot Studio, and the Copilot agents. Then we touched on APIs. Then we talked about so many things, the structure, the definition, the method, the request itself, and so many things like that before we now came into the demo session. But a quick recap of everything that we did in the demo session. So we saw Mr. Ridwan he created the agent, right? So then after the agent was created, we have to create a tool which serves as a what we can call a custom connector to the API. So he did that from the tool. So he built his REST API, right? Then after it was done, he kept hammering on something that anytime you are working with APIs, it is very, very important that you read through the libraries, you read through the documentations that has been provisioned by the developers, right? So it is very, very important. So after that, we saw him added the agent to the tool he created to the agent. Then the agent, and as in, then we can see the operation, the tool in operation, right, while it was testing the agent itself. So with this, I believe this is not just like the only thing you can do. So this was like an eye opener to what agents can do and how we can connect our agents to external APIs. And I'm so sure that after this session, many of us will get our hand on decks and try, one or two things. And then from what has been said, we can even discover more. While we are testing, we can also discover more. And with that, this that we've gained, the knowledge that we've gained is going to stay with us, let me say forever or for a very long time. So also, I still want to appreciate everyone for joining the session. If you check through the chat window, read Sharif dropped a link. That's the link to join our WhatsApp group. So if you are interested in joining our WhatsApp group, just click on that link and it will direct you to our WhatsApp group. Then you can join. So once you join our WhatsApp group, you are going to be getting updates, because some people, it's until you see flyers, until you see something on someone's status, that's when you know we are having webinar. So, but if you're a member of our group, you're on that group chat, then as information that are coming in, you get to see them all time, right? So also, while I was introducing DUG Lagos, Olawumi, kindly mute your mic, please. I can see that you are muted. So I mentioned something about the regional conference, and then I said there is one that is very close to us. Let me see if I can mute her from here. I can't. Olawumi Akintunde, please. Okay, I think the person has done that. Thank you. So I mentioned something about the Ghana. So let me share my screen. So let me just check the slide. So Ghana trip is July this year, July 25th of July 2026. So that is when the conference is holding. That's our regional conference, and it's holding that very day. So that's for for Africans. So if you know you are interested, you want to join us. I know some of the people on this call went with our team last to Ghana. So we are going to Ghana again this year. So if you know you are interested, that's the Dynamics Con Africa, so which is for our region. So you can just let us know. So once you let us know, I know very soon we're going to start proper planning, so then you can know what to do. And I think any of the preparations will be done even before the exact date. That's before the July. So if you're interested, you can actually reach out now so that we can start proper planning. Like I said, I mentioned some of the people that are the lead of this community. So you can reach out to that myself. You can reach out to um Femi, you can reach out to Joan, you can reach out to Oluwatobi Loba, so you can reach out to Auntie Milen, so you can reach out to any of us. Then we are going to have a group for the planning also. So that being said, I think that's the very close information that we need to pass. So by God's grace, we are still going to have a webinar next month, which is the month of May. So we are going to have a webinar in May, and we are going to get the full detail of that webinar, and then the date and the topic, and whoever is going to be taking the training. So thank you once again for joining. And I think this brings us to the end of today's training. So I don't know if Sherry have one or two things to share with us before we call it a day. Okay. Okay. So I know Sherry is actually engaged at the moment. So